the news center in high definition. This is News Channel 8 on your side at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Carter.
And I'm Stacy Scheibel. Thank you for joining us.
3 men drifting helplessly 70 miles off Tarpon Springs in a small boat are headed for dry land tonight after being rescued by the U.S. Coast Guard. That trio set off from the Anclote River boat dock on Wednesday afternoon with a plan to return last night, but they ran into trouble when their engine conked out. News Channel 8's Peter Bernard is live tonight at the Coast Guard station in Clearwater, where the Coast Guard launched that rescue mission.
Hi there, Rod, and they are on their way back to the U.S. Coast Guard station in St. Petersburg right now. They're riding on the Coast Guard cutter. Their boat is in tow. Their rescue comes after an extensive search that included 2 airplanes, a helicopter, and 2 cutters.
A fishing trip aboard this small 20-foot center console single-engine boat turned into a harrowing experience for 3 Orlando men. Charlie Lyons, his brother Edward, and a friend set out on Wednesday afternoon for a fishing trip that was supposed to last overnight. When they didn't return to the Anclote River boat launch as planned, another brother called the Coast Guard.
They got pretty lucky tonight.
Just before the HC-130 airplane had to return for the night, after 9 hours in the air, a crew member using radar found the boat about 70 miles west of Tarpon Springs. Hard to accomplish with 8 to 12-foot seas and whitecaps that made finding a white boat difficult. Pilot, Lieutenant Billy Filia, says over the radio the men sounded very happy.
When you find people like that, they say Coast Guard a lot.
The Coast Guard crew in the airplane dropped smoke to mark the boat's location and said the men were waving wildly.
The first thing, they actually just asked us to call their family, and so we relayed that to Sector St. Pete, and I'm sure they got a hold of their family. And
back at the family home in Orlando, the mother of the 2 brothers says it's been a frightening 24 hours.
When Steve first called us and said they found him, we just didn't know, whether they are right, what was going on. But then a few minutes later, they did call, and the Coast Guard had called them and gave them, most of the details. And of course, then we all just lost it. It was just so wonderful.
For this Coast Guard crew, the rescue is proving to be extra special.
I mean, it's what we train to do all the time, and it's pretty great. It's actually my first save ever, so it's very cool. It's cool for the crew. We did a lot of high-fiving in the airplane, and it was a lot of people's first today, so it was kind of neat.
But hampering rescue efforts, the fact the boaters did not have an EPIRB aboard, a device which would have allowed rescuers to use satellites to hone in on their location. They'd left it at home.
They were really lucky to be found. We were really lucky to find them. So just note to everyone out there, if you have an EPIRB, please bring it.
For this Coast Guard crew, it's a job well done.
It is 11-11-11. We saved 3 lives. It's pretty neat.
Great story, isn't it? And the 3 guys almost had to spend tonight out in the Gulf again. What would happen was the HC-130 crew had to come back for fuel. They were low on fuel. They'd been out there for 9 hours. On the last leg of their search, they spotted them on the radar and then eyeballed them with the binoculars, and they were able to find them. They're right now, the crew is on their way to Coast Guard St. Petersburg, and they're due to arrive probably about 1 or 2 in the morning. In Clearwater, Peter Bernard, News Channel 8.
Tonight, a crowd of thousands gathered for a vigil at Penn State to show support for the victims of the child sex scandal that has sent that school into turmoil. As NBC's Jay Gray shows us tonight, students are trying to heal from a week of headline-grabbing accusations against a former assistant football coach.
Just 48 hours after chaos on the Penn State campus, students again poured into the streets. Tonight, though, their march quiet, their message clear.
Now is the time, more than ever, to give our support to the ones who need it the most, the victims of child abuse.
The traditional pregame pep rally was replaced by a candlelight vigil for the victims of the alleged sexual assaults. They seem to draw strength from being together, and so they will gather again tomorrow, more than 100,000 fans, for a game that will be unlike any other in Beaver Stadium, and perhaps different than any in college football history.
I don't think anyone who's lived here or who just got here has any idea of how it's going to go.
There will be increased security at the stadium.
We have taken every precaution.
One of those precautions includes keeping assistant coach Mike McQuarrie away from the game. The man who says he saw former assistant Jerry Sandusky allegedly sexually assault a young boy in a campus shower and then reported that to Joe Paterno nearly a decade ago was placed on administrative leave today.
It became clear that Coach McQuarrie could not function in this role under these circumstances.
It's been difficult for anyone on this campus to function lately, and some hope tomorrow's game can provide a break from the allegations and the outrage.
We've gone through so much this week. There's going to be a lot of time to talk about this scandal. I hope that we can all just take 3 hours to just unwind a little bit.
Unwind, though they are aware it won't undo what's happened here and can't begin to take away the pain of the victims remembered here tonight. Jay Gray, NBC News, University Park, Pennsylvania.
The grand jury report on Jerry Sandusky claims he brought one of his alleged victims to Tampa for a football game. The report says a boy called victim number 4 traveled with the team to the Outback Bowl in January of 1999. The report shows Sandusky allegedly sexually assaulted the boy on the Penn State campus and at bowl games he traveled with Sandusky to. Now, it does not specifically allege any offenses here in Tampa, but it does say that the boy was listed as a member of Sandusky's family party for the 1998 Outback Bowl. With multiple alleged locations, Tampa Attorney Jeff Brown says he expects the federal government to convene a grand jury, but he says investigators could run into an issue with memories.
People's ability to recall who was there, what was going on, that's what the government may have a little bit of a problem with, is getting people to remember things about what happened 10, 12 years ago.
As for an investigation here in Tampa, a police spokesperson says that TPD has not been contacted and they've only heard about this through the media. The spokesperson also says if there was an allegation of a crime here in Tampa, they would investigate.
Now to Veterans Day celebrations across the Bay Area. Hundreds of people gathered to honor veterans in St. Petersburg today at the Bay Pines VA Medical Center. Local veterans marched in carrying the red, white, and blue. Every year, Bay Pines invites local vets, family, and friends to come out and honor those who serve. This year, Mike Prendergast, the executive director of the Florida Department of Veterans Affairs, spoke to the crowd, and we talked to a veteran at the ceremony today whose son is on active duty.
You just have to hold your emotions back and just let the kids do what they do and basically pray. Prayer is it's a saving grace. Some people say it's a crutch. Well, I see nothing wrong with a crutch when you got a broken leg.
Representative Bill Young also spoke at the ceremony. He thanked the veterans for making America the best country in the world.
Some veterans here in Hillsborough County received a special honor with the unveiling of a Vietnam memorial today. The names of 155 men and women from Hillsborough County who died during the Vietnam War are engraved on that memorial. County leaders say it is just the first of 12 memorials planned for Veterans Park. President Obama paid tribute to the nation's veterans as well today during a ceremony at the Tomb of the Unknowns. The president placed a wreath at that tomb. The First Lady joined him for the ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery. The president thanked America's men and women in uniform for their dedication, their sacrifice, and their service. He also acknowledged the families and support personnel who care for wounded troops returning home from war.
Now in an 8 on Your Side crime tracker report, Tampa police are investigating a shooting that left one woman dead tonight. Police were called to the home in the 10,000 block of North Annette Avenue about 4:30 today. They discovered a woman dead inside from a gunshot wound. Police are questioning 3 people who were inside the home. The name of the victim has not been released.
A driver hit a pedestrian in Tampa tonight. Now, there aren't many details we can share with you. We don't know much, but we do know it happened at the intersection of MLK and 12th Street. Investigators have not released the pedestrian's name. This incident comes as the Department of Transportation in the state of Florida kicks off this new campaign reminding drivers to see the blind spots. The Tampa Bay area is one of the deadliest places in the country for pedestrians and bicyclists. For instance, in the Tampa Bay area in 2009, the DOT says a pedestrian was injured once every 7 hours, and there were, on average, 7 people killed every month. The campaign aims to remind drivers to be aware of their surroundings at all times. For more information about the campaign, we've created a link on our website. Just go to tbo.com and search links.
And turning now to Decision 2012. According to a new poll, U.S. Representative Connie Mack, the 4th of Fort Myers, is threatening incumbent Democratic Senator Bill Nelson even before formally entering the race. A Quinnipiac University poll shows that Mack is upending the Republican U.S. Senate primary. 32% of Republicans support Mack. George Lemieux has 9% of the backers. Mike McAllister, 6%. Adam Hasner and Craig Miller both received 2% of the support. Some have attributed Mac's lead to name identification connected with his father, former U.S. Senator Connie Mack III.
Salt Lake City police have ordered all Occupy protesters camping overnight in a city park there to pack up their tents after a man turned up dead. This is video of police on the scene there. Another protester found the 40-something-year-old protester dead inside his tent at Pioneer Park. The group has been in that park for weeks now, protesting what they say is corporate greed. Daytime protests will still be allowed. By the way, police say this death does not appear to be suspicious.
Politicians in Italy today made progress toward resolving their financial crisis. The Italian Senate approved economic reforms that could open the door for a new government. The Senate in Rome also passed austerity measures by an overwhelming majority. There's one more vote on the measures tomorrow, but the news today did give U.S. markets a boost. And on Wall Street, the Dow shot up. It closed 260 points up at 12,153. The Nasdaq gained 53. It ended the day at 2,678. The S&P rose 24. It closed the week at 1,263.
The entire staff of a New York company has been fired. More than 1,000 people who work for MF Global were told today they no longer have jobs. A court-appointed trustee for the liquidation of the trading company said he was following court-ordered mandate. Now, the company collapsed after losing $600 million on a gamble on European debt. Now, according to news reports, employees will not receive any severance pay.
A Tampa family has reason to celebrate tonight after a baby was born on 11/11/11.
To be able to have her at that number, it's just something special, something to talk about.
Yep, coming up next, we're going to see how the numbers align for this baby's birth. And talk about catching a wave, wow. We're going to show you how this surfer is hoping to snag a world record by riding this big one.
Closed captioning brought to you by the personal injury law firm of Culpeper Kurland. Auto accident? Call Culpeper Kurland. Aggressive, tenacious, Culpeper Kurland.
Crosstown cameras, red light cameras, surveillance cameras, they're everywhere watching your every move. This man kept getting billed for going through tolls without a sun pass. But
no, wasn't me.
Really? Have surveillance cams gone too far? Monday at 11 on News Channel 8.
Are you ready for ultimate TV bedroom packages from Rooms to Go? Now get this dresser, mirror, complete queen bed, 2 nightstands, media console, plus 32-inch Toshiba LCD HD TV. 8 pieces plus TV, $16.44 now at Rooms to Go.
I read the Tampa Tribune.
I get in the game with the Tampa Tribune.
I love the coupons in the Tampa Tribune. I read the Tampa Tribune to stay up to date with the current happenings.
I like the Friday Extra to get movie reviews.
I love the Friday Extra because it has information on events happening.
The Trib gives me great insight into the Bucks.
I get up on Sunday morning at 6 a.m. just to get my coupons. You can save at least $100.
Everyone should subscribe to the Tampa Tribune.
The Tampa Tribune.
Tampa's #1 newspaper.
One last chance. Ashley Furniture Home Store's lowest prices of the year ends Veterans Day. A 3-piece bed, $288. This beautiful sofa, $288. Our lowest prices of the year, $200 off any Tempur-Pedic. Our lowest prices of the year. Plus, up to 18 months, no interest and no minimum purchase. Get to Ashley Furniture Home Store by Monday and get our lowest prices of the year. Visit any one of our 5 convenient locations.
The best network at home, plus the best network away, equals watching your favorite shows and movies no matter where you are. Get the Verizon Power Play. Fios TV, internet, and phone together with Verizon Wireless service. Sign up today and get a $300 Verizon Visa prepaid card.
Get ready for the holidays with Rooms to Go. Because right now, you can get special interest-free financing and pay no interest until January 2016. Only at Rooms to Go.
Monday morning starting at 4:30 a.m. Getting back to work. We're featuring News Channel 8 viewers who reinvent themselves to find their dream jobs. You're going to meet a man displaced from the financial world who took his love for stats and his love for football and found his dream. That's Monday. Hey, think you got talent? Well, producers from the hit NBC show America's Got Talent are in town. They're in Tampa this weekend looking for contestants. The auditions will take place at the Tampa Convention Center beginning tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Now, we did find some people braving those chilly temperatures out there in hopes of being among the first in line. If you are interested, you have to pre-register on the America's Got Talent website. We've created a link to make it easy for you on TVO.com. Just search links.
Well, today was a date that won't come around for another century, 11-11-11. And it was on this day in Tampa when a baby's birth turned in one of those stories that makes you ask, what are the chances of that? Well, tonight, our Josh Green explains why that little girl's birth certificate is always going to hold a very unusual stamp in time.
Oh, little one.
You know, just like any newborn, Peyton Van Hoover will always have certain numbers tied to her birth. 7 pounds, 12 ounces, 20.5 inches. But what stands out here on her birthday isn't so much about how Peyton came into the world, but when.
It's incredible. I mean, the odds of 11-11-11 at 11-11 are astronomical.
Her parents, Chad and Tassity, realize how unusual that sounds. Born at 11:11 a.m. on 11/11/11.
The nurse said she almost didn't make it. She said it almost 11-12, but it's still 11-11, so.
Her parents didn't plan that. Peyton's due date was supposed to be nearly a week earlier.
My due date was November 6th.
But 5 days later, doctors induced Tassity. Afterwards, it seemed like everyone in the labor room was watching the clock and realizing what was happening. Everyone but Mom.
I told her, I said, just wait like 3 minutes and then it'll be 11-11. And she kind of looked at me like, I'm going to rip your face off. I want to get this out of my body.
No. You know, once the medicine kicked in and the contractions were so strong, I just wanted to have the baby as soon as possible. But then, you know, she came when she came.
One day, Peyton Van Hoover will realize how she came into this world. How a girl from Thailand and a guy from New York met in a communications class at the University of Florida. How her sister, Brooklyn, came 2 years before she did. And then there's this special stamp in time. A stamp that's now part of a family history.
Oh, little baby.
A family history changed by a little girl who came into their lives on a date that comes just once in a lifetime.
She looks tired.
In Tampa,
Yeah.
Josh Green, News Channel 8.
Great story. Switching gears now, Tampa police are looking for a man suspected of breaking into at least 2 cars. And investigators say video of him was caught on camera. Take a look at this short clip. Tampa police say the man driving this Buick is suspected of breaking into the cars, one on West Kennedy, the other on South Dale Mabry. Investigators say he stole an iPod Touch, a suitcase, and a backpack. In California, a man took his pet goat surfing with him. And I say, why not? The goat is named, appropriately enough, Goatee, and doesn't appear to be too afraid to surf. The surfer says he actually bought the goat initially to eat the weeds in his backyard, but said, hey, why not? I'll just take him out surfing. Now he's got a new surfing buddy. That's bizarre. Speaking of surfing, a surfer may have been on the ride of his life. Take a look at this video as Garrett McNamara rides a 90-foot wave off the coast of Portugal. The area is well known for its monster waves. McNamara's ride hasn't officially been recognized yet, but it could top the current world record of a ride on a 77-foot wave.
So is that the guy or the goat on the 90-foot wave?
It's the guy.
It's the guy.
Okay, so the goat wasn't riding the 90-foot wave.
Now that would be a story.
Yeah, he said, nah.
Yeah. Hey, ooh, very good at that one. Just got the stories mixed up. At 7 a.m., our temperature near 49 degrees, 62 degrees at noon. Again, a very, very cool start to the day. 54 degrees currently, our dew point 40 degrees. Temperatures are going to fall into the upper 30s, potentially in some of the northern inland areas, away from coastal areas. And with a possibility of lighter winds, we could see also some light frost, especially in those northern inland spots. But you can see the difference in temps here at 60 in St. Pete downtown. This is at Whittier Airport, 50 degrees. 60-degree dew point with an east wind at 15 miles per hour. Current temps, well, they're cool up north. You can see Weeki Wachee here at 40, Inverness 44, 38 in Brooksville, 50 in Plant City, 52 Sarasota, and all the way out in Sebring, 56, Bartow 51. A satellite continues to show mostly clear skies. High pressure's really taken over here after the clouds and showers just pushed on down to the south. No rain left on the map, just perfect blue skies for today, a high of 67 degrees. Farther back to the west, some cloudiness, but clearly not too much happening locally. So again, we do see some freeze warnings on the map, but that's well to the north of us. Freeze watch for the interior portions of Citrus County, also a frost advisory for that same area. So inland spots in Highlands County, potentially Pasco County, could see some of this in the morning hours. Normally cooler spots where winds are lighter, but winds are coming more northeasterly, and that's a warmer flow force. It also tends to bring in a little bit more moisture locally, so we're going to bring the humidity back, and the temperatures are going to come back too. So there again, another view of the East Coast, and we're saying goodbye here to Tropical Storm Sean, the last advisory. It's post-tropical now, essentially more of a cold core system, more like a classic area of low pressure, and it's shooting very fast off to the northeast in the strong upper level winds. A remarkable late season storm. That's Bermuda right there, that little speck, but Sean is no longer, so enjoy Sean while we have it. 40-mile-per-hour winds, thankfully no effect on land, just a fish storm. Saturday at 7 a.m. with 35-mile-per-hour winds, undergoing some weakening tropical depression, Sean, we should call it at the moment. High pressure will continue to dominate. You can see these lines of equal pressure, these isobars coming around that high, will give us an eventual easterly wind as we go into the forecast for tomorrow afternoon. That tends to raise our temperature with a warmer flow and bring our humidities up a little bit. Should be a gorgeous day. 76 degrees for a high on Sunday, near 80 degrees. Football forecast. Gators playing South Carolina in Columbia. 65 degrees, super day there. Also, we have Florida A&M and North Carolina Central in Durham, North Carolina. 62 degrees, super weather. And Miami playing FSU in Tallahassee. Big game, 69 degrees. UCF and USM. Southern Mississippi, Hattiesburg, Mississippi. 67 degrees. I believe our director, Chris, went to USM. 45 degrees, Land O'Lakes. 45, Tarpon Springs. 47 in Temple Terrace. Could be some upper 30s in some of those northern areas, so a heads up for some patchy frost in some of these regions. But the warm-up is clear there for Saturday, 76, 80 for Sunday. Overnight low temperatures back in the low 60s, the upper 60s for Tuesday and Wednesday. So a nice warm week next week. If you don't like the cold weather, it changes pretty quickly. Quick thanks to the folks at Florida National Cemetery in Bushnell. I was the MC for the Veterans Day ceremonies up there, and it was a super event as always. A very great place to visit, a solemn place. I recommend going to Florida National Cemetery there.
Absolutely perfect. All right, Steve, thanks.
All right, guys.
Sports is coming up next.
Be right back.
Football Friday.
Storm Team 8 weather is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Crosstown cameras, red light cameras, surveillance cameras, they're everywhere watching your every move. This man kept getting billed for going through tolls without a sun pass. But
no, wasn't me.
Really? Have surveillance cams gone too far? Monday at 11 on News Channel 8.
One of the funniest comics in the country. A world-class entertainer, Cedric the Entertainer.
You know how sometimes you think you hear people say something, but you don't know if they saying it for real. I'm just sitting there kicking it with the president, and I could have swore he just leaned into me and said, some bitches in here.
It's Cedric the Entertainer, live on stage. Sunday night, November 20th at the Mahaffey Theater. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. Charge by phone, Ticketmaster.com or the box office. Presented by Bill Edwards Presents.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am standing before you tonight because of one very brave young man.
No, child. What have you done?
The story's not over yet.
Hugo, a Martin Scorsese picture in 3D. Rated PG. In theaters November 23rd.
Welcome to Longhorn Steakhouse. For a limited time, enjoy our new lobster stuffed filet, topped with a half lobster tail and stuffed with succulent lobster. Or tonight, try our tender filet stuffed with aged white cheddar and bacon. Only at Longhorn Steakhouse.
I shop at Sweet Baby because of the fresh produce.
It's freshest because we have sprinklers in the store to keep things crisper longer. That just feels fresh. Sweet Bay Supermarket. Live fresh for less.
It's the most wonderful sale of the year.
saving on Nissan innovation. It all happens here.
Right now, Lease Altima, $179, or Rogue, just $209. Visit ChooseNissan.com. Test drive at your local Nissan dealer.
Hurry in! It's the most wonderful sale of the year.
Today through Monday, new tires from Tire Kingdom for only $10.
Any select Yokohama, Cooper, or Pirelli, $10.
Yes, you heard right.
At Tire Kingdom, today through Monday, buy any Yokohama, Cooper, or Pirelli tire.
Get the second tire for only $10.
There's no limit.
For every tire you buy, you get another tire for only $10.
Only at Tire Kingdom.
Today through Monday.
Tires for $10. Today through Monday. Only at Tire Kingdom.
And right now, lease the 2012 Optima for $199 a month.
I shop at Sweet Bay because they have the best seafood.
We get Florida-caught seafood fresh from our own backyard. Hey, you ready to go? Aye, aye, Captain. Sweet Bay Supermarket. Live fresh for less.
Storm Teammate weather is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
The USF Bulls are taking on the Syracuse Orangemen tonight. The game is still underway, but there are only a few minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Bulls lead this one right now. Score just changed. It's 30-17. USF up. The Bulls are hoping to win tonight after a 4-game skid. The last time the Bulls won was September 24th.
It is the last week of high school football regular season play, and many teams took on their rivals tonight. That was the situation in Lakeland as the Dreadnoughts took on crosstown rival Kathleen. News Channel 8's Anthony Allred has our high school football game of the week.
In this game of the week matchup, the last time the Red Devils beat the Dreadnoughts was 18 years ago when some guy named Ray Lewis was a senior. The Dreadnoughts are undefeated, and they're looking to go into the playoffs that way. To the highlights we go. The Dreadnoughts didn't waste any time getting started. Second play from scrimmage. And here comes Requan Southward, getting his hustle on. 43 yards later, and the Dreadnoughts are knocking on the door. A couple of plays later, and Raheem Dumas calls his own number. That's 11 yards to pay dirt. Dreadnoughts' next possession, and Raheem completing 63% of his passes. On a busted play, hits the University of Miami commit on the run, and 60 yards later, it's 14-0 Dreadnoughts. But then, back come the Red Devils. Their quarterback would punch it in from 3 yards out to make it 14-7 Dreadnoughts. Now it's the second quarter, same score, when Terrence Bentley round the right side, doing it, working it, twerking it, 80-some-odd yards to the hazy Fosheezy. And just like that, we got ourselves a ball game, folks. But the Dreadnoughts, working on their 13th undefeated season, would answer back with Forrest Cunningham. But with bragging rights on the line, James McClinton coming at you. And he turns it up, and he turns it on, and he stops and goes and turns it out. And just like that, it's tied up at 21. Now it's the fourth quarter, same score. And if you didn't know by now, you better ask somebody. This is more than a crosstown rivalry. So with 6 and some change left to play, Braxton Huggins banging bodies with the big boys, and the Dreadnoughts would go on to win it and celebrate their 13th undefeated season in school history. With the game of the week, Anthony Allred, News Channel 8 Sports.
All right, Double A, thanks, I know. We'll be right back.
He always makes it entertaining.